Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 5 of the 2020 Hayes Larks season. This is a matchup between your Larks and the Colorado Sox. Hayes comes in this one 4-0 after beating the Saints 12-7 in yesterday's ball game. On the mound for Colorado will be Raiko Arcelis, and the first batter he'll face will be the Arizona native Grant Long out of USF. Grant steps in the left-hander's batter's box. First delivery to him, he's swinging and fouls it 0-1. Grant comes into this game batting .300 with an on-base percentage above .500. Batting second for Hayes after him will be Leo Jeminian, followed by Wyatt Divis. Arcelis shakes off a couple signs from his catcher Marino and will deliver back to Lung. This one inside at Lung's feet, 1 ball and 1 strike. Yesterday's ball game, Lung 0 for 2 but picked up 4 walks and scored twice. Larks batted around 5 times yesterday in 9 innings. Third delivery to Lung, fouled over to the right side. Sox line up with Grieving, Manmano, and Fullerton in the outfield. Lands at third base, Nunes at shortstop, Adams at second base, and Ackerman at first base with Marino behind the dish. This delivery misses low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Lung in his career at USF, batting .267 through 148 games, has scored 87 times and driven in 91 runs. A fifth delivery to Lung, tough one to take outside. Lung works his way into a full count. Lung has walked 6 times this year, 4 of those yesterday. Arcelis gets set, and the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, and Lung is down on strikes for just the second time in 2021. So now to the French center fielder Leo Jeminian out of Clarendon College, committed to Eastern Tennessee State University last week. 5'9" freshman for the Larks last year, played 32 games, started every single one of them in the outfield, led the team in stolen bases. Swing and a miss. Yesterday, Larks beating the Saints 12-7. Wyatt Divis got the start, went 5 innings, only allowed 1 earned run, striking out 4. Jackson Blue came in relief through 4 innings, also 1 earned run. 5 runs scored unearned against the Larks yesterday, who had a total of 7 errors, their worst defensive outing in the past 3 years. Jeminian in yesterday's ball game, 1 for 5, scored twice and drove in 3 runs on a 3-run shot to left field, and he will be down on strikes just like Lung. quick 2 outs for the Larks to get the top of the first going. To the plate now, Wyatt Divis out of UTA. Divis with the Larks last year batted .336, had 3 home runs, and picked up 15 RBIs. Got his second W of the season on the mound yesterday. Arcelais delivers, and Divis sends it up the middle. 1 pitch and a single for Wyatt Divis. For the senior out of Nebraska, that is hit number 2 on the season. So cleanup hitter Cam Pearson out of Cochise College. Cam in yesterday's ballgame batted third, played first base for the second time this year. Went 3 for 6 with 2 runs scored and drove in 1 run. Davis, small lead at first base, and this one is a called strike against Pearson. Grant Schmidt on deck with Sam Crow in the hole for Hayes. Due up for the Sox in the bottom of the first will be Adams, Marino, and Ackerman. This one will go between the legs of Marino, and Divis will advance 90 feet easily. It's game 2 of a 4-game road series for Hayes, who's 4-0 on the year. And it's game 1 of 2 against the Sox. We'll be back here at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Central Time for game 2 tomorrow. This delivery to Pearson, low and outside. 2 balls and a strike to the first baseman. Cam this year for the Apaches batted .312 and had a slugging percentage above .400. Runner on second, 2 outs. This one in the zone, 2-2 count. Pearson was the only guy in the Larks lineup not to record a walk yesterday. And he sends this one up the middle again. Diving is Nunez. And no throw as Pearson will head to first base. Runners on the corners with 2 outs after back-to-back singles from the Larks. It's now to Grant Schmidt out of Hastings, Nebraska. Grant, yesterday's ballgame, had a great one. 4 singles, scored 2 runs, and also drove in 2. Grant, a 6'3" junior at FHSU, batted .316 this year in 36 games. Swings on his first delivery and fouls it off. Schmidt on the year batting .500 through 12 at-bats, 6 hits, 5 singles, and has 1 home run. Pearson takes off from first base. Schmidt swinging and no throw from Marino. 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. Taking the mound for Hayes in the bottom of the first will be Luke Terbeek. Staying alive is Schmidt. 0-2 count. On deck for Hayes is Sam Crow with Cord Jackson in the hole. Pearson at second, Divis at third. An 0-2 delivery popped up, and Marino ditches the mask and will record the catch in foul territory. Larks get 2 singles in the first and strike out twice. Sends us to the bottom of the inning, no score. Bottom of the first we go on Larks Network. Leading off will be Trey Adams, the second baseman for the Sox. On the mound for Hayes, Luke Terbeek, the knuckleballer out of the Netherlands, 0-0 on the year with one appearance. Went 3 innings against the Roughnecks, striking out 4 and allowing 2 hits. Beek out of Arizona Western, originally from New Vennep, Netherlands. Second delivery from Terbeek in the zone. Corral gets set up behind the dish, and Adams awaits this delivery, swings and misses. 2 strikes on the second baseman. 1-2 count. Marino on deck with Ackerman in the hole for Colorado. Terbeek delivers and gets his 5th strikeout on the year through 3 1/3. Defensively for Hayes, it's Zach Henry in left field, Leo Jiminian in center, Grant Schmidt in right, Cam Harrison at first base, Grant Long at second, and on the left side of the infield, Cord Jackson at shortstop and Palmer Hutchison in the hot corner. Sam Corral behind the dish is tonight's backstop. First delivery from Terbeek in the zone for a called strike. Beek doing a nice job of hitting the zone through strikes on 81% of his pitches in his first appearance through 31 total pitches and had an opponent batting average of 182. Hitting the zone here early, this is a slider for a called strike. 0-2 to Brody Marino, the catcher for the Sox. Marino, the catcher, 5'10", out of Oregon Tech. And they will get him out on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Luke Terbeek. Gets the bottom of the first going. Number 6 on the year. Now to Nolan Ackerman, who played against the Larks last year, had a great series in Hayes. The first baseman batting third. Ackerman out of San Mateo Junior College. Called strike. Terbeek not wasting any time and not wasting any pitches on the mound today. Go from the windup. And a second strike on Ackerman. On deck, if necessary, Josh Beatty for the Sox. Corral sets up outside. This delivery goes outside. Nice pitch from Terbeek. Couldn't bait a swing out of Ackerman. Duel for the Larks in the second inning will be Corral, Jackson, and Hutchison. Terbeek from the windup, chopped up the middle. Cord Jackson moves towards it and throws to Cam Pearson. 3 up, 3 down. Terbeek gets him in order. We go to the second inning. No score on Larks Network.
What we do here is go back.
Leading off the second inning for Hayes will be Sam Crowell, the catcher out of Heath, Texas. First delivery from Arcelais outside, but gets a swing and a miss from Crowell, 0-1. For the UTA Mavericks this year, Crowell made 4 appearances and drove in 3 runs. Swings on his 0-1 delivery and sends it to Frank Leo. Crowell yesterday was the DH, batted cleanup, had 1 hit and scored 2 times, also picked up a walk. It's back into the right-hander's batter's box versus the righty. And this one just barely outside, 1-2. Jackson on deck for Hayes with Hutchison in the hole. Arcelais will deliver. This one swung on and fouled off. Crowell just staying alive. Larks got 2 hits in the first inning but left 2 on. This one hit to left field. Grieving moves back and will get called off by Manmano in left center, a couple feet in front of the warning track. Well hit from Crowell, but a loud out, number 1. So now to Cord Jackson out of Ontario, Canada, and plays for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Was the number 4 player coming out of Ontario according to Perfect Game, and the number 3 player coming out of Ontario, Canada according to Baseball Report. First delivery to Jackson in the zone for a called strike. Corn yesterday's ballgame recorded his first hit as a Lark, went 2 for 3 and scored 1 and walked once. This delivery in the zone on Jackson tonight, starting shortstop, moving his way up the order after batting 9th yesterday. Bats left-handed but throws right-handed. Has 2 strikes on him. This delivery outside. 1-2 count. Palmer Hutchison on deck for Hayes. Zach Henry in the hole. Arcelais gets set, and Jackson is down on strikes for the second time on this road series. Third strikeout through 1 1/3 for Raquel Arcelais. So now to the 8th spot, the third baseman, Palmer Hutchison, out of Kansas City, Kansas Community College. One of the 3 Hayes natives on the roster. First delivery to him over the outside part of the plate for a called strike. Hutch in yesterday's ballgame 0 for 3 but walked once and drove in a run on a ground out. Swings and hits a bloop to right center. It's going to drop in front of or behind Manmano and Fullerton, and Hutchison has a 1-out double. Second time today, the Larks will get a runner at second base. For Palmer, that is his second double of the season and his 3rd hit. Palmer had a monster year for the Blue Devils and led the team in runs, RBI, slugging percentage, and home runs. Didn't just lead those stats by just a few. Most RBIs on KCK by 12 and most home runs by 9. First delivery to Zach Henry out of UTA in the zone for a called strike. 2 outs, runner on second for Hayes. So there he drops below the knees of the Maverick. Henry in yesterday's ball game 0 for 4 with a walk and got the hat trick. Swinging on the 1-1 and fouls it off himself, 1-2. take some time after that one stung and get back in the zone with the 1-2 count against Arcelais. Due up for the Sox in the bottom of the second inning will be the 4, 5, and 6, Beatty, Lands, and Nunez. Arcelais shakes off 3 signs and agrees on number 4 from his catcher Marino. Delivers home, and Zach Henry is down on strikes. 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. Larks leave a runner on second base for the second straight inning. We go to the bottom half of the inning, no score. Terbeek back to the mound for the second inning, leading it off for the Sox. Josh Beatty, the DH, batting the cleanup spot. Terbeek on a 1-2-3 first, striking out 2. First delivery in the zone, swung on and fouled off. Beatty out of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. 6-foot right-handed thrower, batting left-hander's batter's box. Slowly grounds this one over the right side. Lung chases in. The toss to Cam Pearson will be in time. Good hustle from Lung to get Terbeek his first out of the second. So Larks already making up for the errors yesterday with a nice play from Lung and a nice play from Cord Jackson back in the first. So that'll bring up Ethan Lands, the third baseman, batting in the 5 spot. Lands a 5'11" third baseman out of York College. Swung on and fouled off the face mask of Sam Crow. Fifth batter Terbeek has faced today. He struck out 2 and gotten 2 ground outs, both to the middle infield. Swung fastball in the zone. Called strike 2, 0-2. On Lance. Nunez on deck with Fullerton in the hole for the Sox. Checks his swing and fouls his second one off Crow. And Crow will walk it off. Take it one off the chest, or excuse me, the face mask. And this one off his body. No balls and 2 strikes. Lands watches his first ball, missed low. 1-2. Terbeek, the knuckleballer, made 9 appearances this year for Arizona Western, went 5-0, striking out 27 and walking just 6. In the Dutch major leagues, he made 37 appearances over his 4-year career with a 4.32 ERA. 2-2. played for 2 teams over the course of 4 years in the Netherlands. Through 152 innings, picked up 1 save and 6 wins. This one's grounded to Cord Jackson, eats it, and throws to Pearson. 2 up, 2 down, both on ground outs to the middle infield here in the second for the Sox. Second time a Sox has grounded out to Cord Jackson. Sox still looking for their first base runner as Roberto Nunez comes to the dish. Nunez, a 6'2 infielder out of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. First delivery, he fouls back, 0-1. Do it for the Larks in the third with still no score will be Grant Lung, Leo Jominian, and Wyatt Divis, the top of the order. No score here, 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the second. Terry delivers outside, 1-0. 1-1. Luke gets set, goes from the windup. This one again fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the shortstop for Colorado. Beek has now faced 17 batters on the season and retired 15 of them. It's a 1-2-3 second. Larks and the Sox tied up as we move to the third. Top of the third we go here from Colorado for the Hayes Larks. Grant Lung leads it off, sends this one to right field. Fullerton moves to his right and back and records the out. Grant Lung now 0 for 2 on the day. So down to Leo Jominian, who struck out in the first inning against Reichel Arcelise. Divis on deck with Pearson in the hole for Hayes. It's his second look here at the righty. First delivery, he swings at one above the letters, and it's 0-1. Leo on the season batting .263 with a .333 on base percentage. Looking to get those numbers up with a hit right here. He swings and fouls one off the plate, and then it hits him 0-2. Jominian 3 singles, 1 triple, and then 1 home run. That was in yesterday's a deep 3-run shot to left field against the Saints that put the Larks back on top. Swings and hits this one to left side. Nunez moves to his right, fields it, and throws across the diamond. Leo's speed made him speed up his throw, and it caused it to move off the bag, and Leo is aboard for the first time today. That is Leo's first hit of the day. Now to Wyatt Divis, who singled with 2 outs in the first, got to second, but then was left there. Larks now have 4 hits, and they've left 3 on through their first 2 innings. Divis, in his 4th year with the Larks, definitely a veteran and a good clubhouse presence for the team. Leo has a lot of speed at first. He led the team in stolen bases last year and takes off on the first pitch. And the throw is not going to get him. Leo led the team with 15 stolen bases last year. And that is his 2nd of 2021. Second delivery to Divis, a called strike over the outside part of the plate. Runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Still no score from either team. Arcelise takes a look at Jeminian and will deliver to Divis. This delivery sent to left field. It's going to drop in front of Grieving. Jeminian's going to be held up at 3rd and ignores the sign from Frank Leo and is going to be tagged out. He rounded 3rd and then tripped. And Frank Leo is just going to look at him as he ignores the sign. So now Divis 2 for 2 in the day and is the lone base runner at first base with 2 outs. So now to Cam Harrison, the cleanup hitter, 1 for 1 today, singled in the first. Divis at first base with 2 outs. Harrison swings on his first delivery, lands, dives for it, makes a nice play, and tosses it to second for out number 3. Larks get 2 hits but can't pull anything from it. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score from Colorado. Third we go from Colorado. Maxim Fullerton will lead it off. The right fielder batting number 7 on the order. Terbeek back to the mound, and the first delivery is going to be fouled off Crowell again. Fullerton, a 6'2" outfielder out of Northeast Community College. And Crowell's going to have a chat with Terbeek on the mound. On deck for the Sox and due up Manmano, followed by Grieving. Terbeek faced 6 batters through the first and the second and retired all 6. 3 strikeouts and 3 groundouts. 2 to Core Jackson, 1 to Grant Lung. This one's going to be blooped into left field, and it's going to drop for the first hit of the day for the Colorado Sox. That'll bring Kian Manmano to the dish. Played against the Larks last year on the Sox. And get another start in center field. Took some signs from his third base coach. has a runner on first with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Still no score. Check over at Fullerton. He's in sliding safely. Nice pitch from Terbeek in the zone for a called strike. Terbeek loves his knuckleball, hasn't thrown it a ton today. Check over again at Fullerton, not in time. This one's grounded left side. It'll be between Jackson and Hutchison. Back-to-back singles for the Sox. Puts 2 on with nobody out. Larks brought 4 to the plate in the top of this inning. Got 2 singles. And Jeminian was thrown out for out number 2. And Pearson grounded out for the last out. Larks had 1 in scoring position with only 1 out. And had 2 on with 1 out. And then a base running error cost him. So down to the bottom of the order, Jacob Grieving, the left fielder. Grieving out of the Air Force Academy. Adams on deck, Marino in the hole for Colorado. He bunts on the first delivery, and it's going to be foul to the on-deck circle. Crowd wants a new ball for Terbeek. So that'll adjust the corners. Pearson and Hutchison creep in. Terbeek gets his sign from Corral, nods on the first one, and will go from the stretch. Showing bunt again is Grieving. He throws this to Cam Pearson, who decides to go to third, and they will get Fullerton out. Looked like a very risky play, and some of the supporters weren't too excited about the decision. Thought Fullerton would be safe, and Cam Pearson makes a heads-up play to put 1 out with still 2 on. So it's Manmano at second, Grieving at first, with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Adams to the dish, 0 from the day, striking out for the first out of the first inning. Sends this one off his bat, foul, 0-1. Delivery low, 1-1. Terbeek has a whip of .667 and has left 2 runners on base as a Lark. Only threw 6 balls against the Rough Riders last Friday. This one's going to be hit to shallow center field. Jeminian will run in and make the catch, and runners hold at first and second. Adams now 0 for 2 on the day. And after allowing back-to-back singles, Terbeek composes himself and gets back-to-back outs. Marino to the box now. 0 from the day, struck out looking against Terbeek in the first, with Fullerton at second. Manmano at second and Grieving on first. Terbeek faced 11 batters against the Roughnecks and retired 9 of them on 3 pitches or less. And got the leadoff out in all 3 innings he threw. Gets set, takes a look at Manmano, and Corral wants time. Has some words for his infield and Terbeek, and then squats back down and gives the signs to his pitcher. Beek nods at the first one. Takes a look at Manmano, goes home, knuckleball above the letters for a ball. %13% of the pitches Terbeek threw on Friday or swings and misses. Doesn't get a swing out of Marino on this one. 2-0. Got 5 ground outs and 4 strikeouts to count for his 9 outs that he recorded against Northern Colorado. This delivery in the zone for a called strike. The balls put in play, 14% of his pitches were ones that were counted as line drives or hard ground balls. This one is going to hit Marino, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Marino at first, Grieving at second, and Manmano at 3rd. And Larks will need to do damage control, and we will have a courtesy runner for the catcher. And it is Tyler Sass, the outfielder out of Central College of Iowa. Nolan Ackerman to the dish, 0 from the day, grounding out to Cord Jackson for the last out of the 1st inning. Terbeek goes from the stretch and misses inside 1-0. Duel for the Larks in the 4th inning as we're moving along quick here will be Schmidt, Crow, and Jackson. This one popped over the right side. Schmidt gives chase, and it's going to be out of play. 1-1. 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd, base is loaded, and still no score from either side. Crowd gets set back behind the dish. Terbeek gets sit on the mound. Looks in, gets a sign from his catcher, and delivers home. This one off Crowd. Terbeek heads home, and the throw is not going to be caught, and the runner from 3rd is going to head home, and Terbeek is going to get him out, and so Manmano scores, but Grieving is out. Hutchison comes in and throws him out. Terbeek applies the tag. Sox get 1 as we move to the 4th inning. They lead Hayes 1-0. Top of the 4th, Hayes down 1-0 against the Colorado Sox. Grant Schmidt will lead it off. Schmidt 0 from the day, popped into foul territory to Marino to end the top of the 1st. This will be his 2nd look at Raiko Arcelais return to the mound for inning number 4. Sox got 1 after a wild pitch in the 3rd, and then their 2nd runner was thrown out for out number 3. First delivery to Schmidt, swung on and popped backwards, out of play, 0-1. Schmidt has walked twice on the season, driven in 5 and scored just as many. He is technically third on the team for runs driven in, and he is third on the team for runs scored. Two guys on the team with 6 RBIs, that's Leo Jiminian and Cam Pearson. Schmidt just behind him with 5, and Dylan Driley behind Schmidt with 4. This delivery to Schmidt, off speed high, 1-2. Schmidt in his career at Fort Hays State University, batting .323 on base percentage of .406, stays alive here, fouling this one off. He scored 58 times for the Tigers. Before he was with the Tigers, played at Cloud County Community College. In 2019, his sophomore year, led the team in RBIs with 51 and led the team in home runs with 13 of those. That counted for a Kansas Junior College Western All-Conference honorable mention. Continues to stay alive here, 2-2. Crowell on deck for Hayes with Jackson in the hole. Arcelai still throwing, righty versus righty matchup. This delivery is going to be hit to left field. Moving back is Grieving. And Grant Schmidt has his 5th hit of this road series. It's a home run. That is his 2nd of the year. Picks up run score number 6. Moves him into 2nd place for team runs, and it picks up his 6th RBI of the season. That puts him tied for the team lead, and the Larks have knotted this one up here thanks to Grant Schmidt. That is the 4th home run of the season for the Larks. Schmidt has 2 of them. Leo Jiminian has 1, and Crowell has 1. And speaking of Crowell, he's up to the dish now. On the day, he's 0 for 1 with a flyout to a man mono back in the 2nd inning. 1-1 ball game here in the top of the 4th. Nobody out, nobody on. Arcelai delivers and gets a swing and a miss out of Crowell. Schmidt off to a hot start. Came into this one batting over 500. And is staying at 500 now as he's 7 for 14 on the season after a pop out and a home run. Came in with a slugging percentage of .750 and bumped it up right there. 1-1 as this one is low on Crowell. Schmidt just having a heck of a start to his season. Crowell hits this one hard past the diving land, and 2 hits for the Larks to get the 4th inning going. Crowell now 1 for 2 on the day. Schmidt started off his season going 0 for 4, and then since then has been on fire. Went 2 for 3 against the Roughnecks on Sunday, and then went 4 for 5 with 4 singles yesterday. Scored twice, drove in 2, and today is 1 for 2. Now to Cord Jackson in the box. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the 2nd inning. Steps back in the left-hander's batter's box after a check over at Crowell. So we have a courtesy runner for Sam Crowell. Jackson pops this one up, and Crowell will not have a courtesy runner. We usually have a courtesy runner for the catcher, but he's staying in. Yesterday, Tyler Palmer came in to courtesy run for Brady Evans and ended up catching some bad luck and got an injury. Crowell small lead at first, and Jackson awaits this delivery, swings on it, and fouls off. There's 2 strikes on him. Crowell's also off to a hot start along with Grant Schmidt. And his first at-bat as a Lark hit a 3-run home run to left field in Hayes and then followed up with an RBI double. That was his first appearance. They went 0 for 2 with 3 walks last Saturday against the Roughnecks. Got Sunday off And then yesterday he picked up a single and scored twice. Jackson staying alive here at the dish. He hits this one hard to center field. Mano moves back, and the Larks have their second home run here in the fourth inning for Cord Jackson. That's his third hit in 2 days, and he brings home Sam Crow. Larks seeing the ball well here in the fourth inning. Great hit from Jackson, just drove it past the 360 sign in center. For Jackson, third hit on the season. Came in this one with 2 singles, now is a home run, has 3 RBIs, and has 5 runs scored. And there's still nobody out here in the fourth. Schmidt started us off with a solo shot, Krause singled, and then a 2-run shot from Jackson. Brings up Palmer Hutchison, the third baseman, who is 1 for 1 on the day, doubling back in the second. Now Arcelise misses outside, 1-0. And Hutchison hits this to left field. It's going to drop. Grieving runs towards it. Hutchison's going to get a double. 2 hits, both doubles. Larks are a triple shy of the cycle here in the fourth. Zach Henry will come to the dish as Hutchison stays hot. For Palmer, that is his third double of the season. All 3 of his hits this year are doubles. Cord Jackson just hit that home run, started off his season going 0 for 3 on June 4th, and on Sunday, June 6th, went 0 for 4, swinging and miss from Henry. Hutchison starts to go, pulls back. So Jackson started off his season 0 for 7, but did score drove in 1 run on June 6th, and then has gotten a hit in his past 3 at-bats, 2 singles, and now a home run. 0-1 to Henry, and he checks his swing and is called a strike. 0-2 on the left fielder. Hits this one to Adams, who fields it, and will throw out Henry, who hustles. Adams took his time. Henry has speed and almost beat out the throw, but Hutchison advances 90 feet, and he's 90 feet from making it a 4-1 ball game. So that'll bring top of the order Grant Lung to the dish for his third plate appearance. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a flyout. This will be the first inning he hasn't let off that he's made in that bat in. First delivery to him, breaking ball misses inside, 1-0. Arcelise takes a look at Hutchison, goes home, and Lung fouls this one off. One count on Lung, the second baseman. Still only 1 out here in the fourth. This one again inside. Lung watches it 2-1. On deck, Jeminian with Divis in the hole for Hayes. Swings at this one over the outside part of the plate and at the letters. Fouls it off. 2-2 to Lung. Lung on the season, batting .300, has 3 hits, all singles, has driven in 1 run and scored 6. This one outside. Lung works himself a full count after being down 1-2. Arcelise gets a sign from Marino and will go home. The payoff pitch grounded over the right side and foul. allowing a 6-foot redshirt junior out of the University of Sioux Falls. Played for 4 games with the Larks in 2019 as he stays alive here on the payoff pitch. Drove in 2 runs in the KCLB tournament for Hayes back when the Larks were in the Kansas Collegiate Baseball League after the Sunflower League disrupted. Had 5 hits in the tournament and scored 6 times, walked 5 times. Has been the captain for USF in 2020 and 2021, and his 3rd payoff pitch he fouls off, continues to stay alive and work a great at bat. Has started every game for the Cougars at USF for the past 3 years. Arcelais gives Marino a nod and will go from the stretch. Payoff pitch number 4, hit down the left field line and foul. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat right here. Arcelais goes from the stretch. Payoff pitch number 5, chopped up the middle, and it's going to be over the head of Adams, who was playing in, and Hutchison scores, and the Larks lead goes from 3-1 to 4-1. And Grant Lung has his first hit of the ballgame. Hutchison has scored now 4 runs on the year, and Grant Lung picks up his 2nd RBI. Hutchison now tied for 4th place on the Larks roster for runs scored. So mound meeting for the Sox here with a runner on first and 1 out. Schmidt started this inning off with a solo shot. Krause singled, and Cord Jackson hit a 2-run shot to straight center field. Hutchison doubled after that. Then we got a ground out, and then Lund singled home Hutchison from 3rd. Short mound meeting for the Sox. That's Blake Rom, the assistant head coach for the Sox. Lund gets his lead at first base as Jeminian gets in the box. Jeminian on the day, 1 for 2, singling in the 3rd inning. Check over at Lung, he's safe. Leo bunts. This one's going to be popped right back at Arcelais. And Jeminian now 1 for 3. So they'll bring up Wyatt Divis, who's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. Got to second base in the 1st, and got to first base, and he couldn't get past there in the 3rd. He counts for 2 of the 3 runners left on base for the Larks today. Arcelais gets set, goes from the stretch, delivers home. Divis swings and misses at delivery number 1. Top of the 4th, 4-1 lead for Hayes with 2 outs and a runner at first. Arcelais gets a sign from Marino and checks over at Lung. Ackerman tags him on his back and Lung's in safely. Arcelais gets set, delivers home. This one off the dirt. 1-1. First dirt field the Larks have played at Hayes Larks Park. Turf infield, grass and dirt outfield. And then the Saints field was all turf yesterday. The 1-1 delivery to Divis. Breaking ball that Divis thought about turning on. Great pitch from Arcelais, but it still misses low, and Divis shows his batter's eye and holds up. Go to 2-1 with 2 outs. Just about an hour into this ball game here. And along top of the 4th, Divis cranks this one to right field. Fulton moves back, and it's going to drop on the warning track, bounce off the wall, and Grant Lung's going to be sent home. He's trying to go from first to third. The throw home is going to be off the base, and Grant Lung runs 270 feet and is out of breath, heading to the dugout with a 5-1 lead. it's a double for Wyatt Davis. For Grant Long, that is his 7th run scored on the season. He's now tied with Cam Harrison for the team lead. And for Wyatt Davis, that is RBI number 4. Harrison at the dish now with 2 outs and a runner on second. Davis now 3 for 3 on the day with 2 singles and a double. Harrison at the dish, 1 for 2, reaching on a single back in the first. Sends this one to the shortstop Nunez, and he can't field it. Larks are going to get another run, and it's going to be an E6, and Davis scores for the 2nd time this year. Larks have now batted around. A 6-1 lead for the Hayes Larks as Grant Schmidt comes to the box. He led off this inning with a solo shot, and the momentum hasn't slowed down since. All 6 runs for the Larks scored here in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 in the day. Sends this one to right center field. Fullerton takes a couple steps back, is on the warning track, and will make the catch for the 3rd out. Larks bring 10 to the plate, score 6 thanks to 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and a single. It sends us to the bottom of the 4th. Hayes up 6-1 against the Colorado Sox. 6-1 Larks over the Sox here in the bottom of the 4th. So leading it off here in the 4th inning will be Nolan Ackerman. Was at the plate for the 3rd inning. Then a wild pitch scored 1 and got 1 out. And it sent him back to the dugout up 1-0. Larks rallied back with 6 in the top of this inning. Taylor Beek back to the mound. His 2nd pitch outside. Nolan Ackerman fouls it off. 1-1 count. Larks fans, make sure you follow the Larks on Twitter and Facebook while subscribing on YouTube. Stay up to date with all things Larks baseball all summer long. The 1-1 fouled back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Taylor Beek, the righty, going strong here in his 4th inning of work. Ackerman fouls this one off again, staying alive. Taylor Beek played for the Dutch national U18 team, and in 2019 was the Ro de Man Award winner for the best young pitcher from the Netherlands. And this one just inside. Taylor Beek thought he had a punch out. He has struck out 3 today through 3 innings, 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Crowd gets sets up inside, and Taylor Beek delivers it inside. Ackerman pulls his hands in. Hutchison fields it in the hot corner, and the throw is going to get Ackerman out by just a step. Good throw from Hutchison. Records the 1st out at the bottom of the 4th. So now to Josh Beatty, 0 for 1 the day, grounding out to Grant Lung to get the bottom of the second going. Be his second look at Terbeek. Terbeek's first start of the year right now. This is his second appearance. Has now thrown 6 1/3. Only 1 earned run on the season. 1-0 as this one misses outside. Lands on deck with Nunez in the hole for the Sox. This one hit to right field. It's going to drop 10 feet in front of Grant Schmidt. 1 out base hit for Beatty, his first of the day. Runner on first here with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Sox trailing the Larks by 5. Some signs from the third base coach across the diamond. We'll see what they want to do with Beatty at first, the DH. That's Brooks Urich, the assistant head coach and third base coach. He's a former Colorado Sox player. Now to Ethan Lands, 0 for 1 the day, grounding out to Core Jackson for the second out of the second inning. This one, a knuckleball right down the middle for a called strike 1 off the glove of Crowell. Small lead for Beatty at first, and before he can even extend it, check over at him, he's in safely. Silvery just inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Beatty. To Lance. Crowd gives Terbeek the sign, and we'll get a check over at Beatty. Runner stays. Crowd wants to check over on him at first as this one misses high. 2-1. Runner still safe at first with 1 out. Terbeek played for Hoofddorp from 2017 to 2019, 3 seasons in the Netherlands, and then played for HCAW in 2020. This one's lined over the right side and foul. 2 strikes now on Lance. In the 2020 season for Terbeek, it was his first year in Arizona Western, made 1 appearance in the shortened COVID season. Through 1 2/3, allowed 2 earned runs, striking out 2, and allowed 2 hits. 1-2 is the count here with 1 away, and Lance taking some time to get back in the box. Slider outside, 2-2. Nice pitch. This one lined up the middle. It's going to drop in front of Jeminian, and it's going to get past him. And 1 run is going to come in from third base. The throw from Core Jackson home. Their crowd's going to tag out, and he's going to lose the ball. Great throw from Jackson after Jeminian throws it to him. The relay in time. The crowd just had the ball pop out of his glove, and there is 2 runs on the board for the Sox. So Beatty comes around to score from first base, and that's an RBI for Lance, who singles. And he gets to second on the E8. (6-2) lead for the Larks here in the bottom of the 4th with 1 out. Runner in scoring position at second base. This one's grounded to Core Jackson off his glove, fields it again, and throws to Pearson. Jackson flashing the glove today and gets the second out. Runner advances to third base. Lands at third. Nunez now 0 for 2 on the day after a strikeout and a groundout. They'll move to Maxim Fullerton, who singled in the third and was out on a fielder's choice. Terbeek still on the mound. No movement from the Larks in the pen. Gets the sign from Corral, who sets up outside. His delivery down the middle and fouled back. Fullerton, 6'2", DH on the roster, playing right field today. Plays for Northeast Community College. Terbeek nods at the first sign from Corral, goes home. Slider chopped at the first base side and foul. Duel for the Larks in the fifth will be Corral, Jackson, and Hutchison. Terbeek goes home, gets a swing and a miss, and picks up his 8th strikeout on the season, number 4 here today. Sox get 1 run in back-to-back innings, and they cut the Larks' lead down to 6-2 as we go to the 5th inning here on Larks Network. Fifth inning here from Larks Network. He's up 6-2. Sam Crown will lead it off. He's 1 for 2 in the day with a single and a run scored. New pitcher into the game for the Sox is Connor Nankis out of Metropolitan State University. Ground ball to the left side. Tough play for Nunez. Throw will not be anywhere near the bag or on time. Crown has his second single in back-to-back innings. So that'll bring up Cord Jackson, who had his first extra base hit of the season in the 4th inning. Had a 2-run shot to deep center field. Crowell stays at first base. Small lead. Nankis looks at him, delivers home. It's off the dirt, and Marino does a nice job of blocking it to keep Crowell at first base. Still very off speed in the zone. Call it strike on Jackson. It's his second hitter Nankis has faced. Core on the day, 1 for 2 after striking out in the second, and obviously had that 2-run shot in the 4th. Straight strike, take strike 2 looking. 1-2 count, nobody out with a runner on first here in the 5th inning. Nankis looks at Crown for a while and goes home, And Jackson, one he probably would have laid off had the count not had 2 strikes on him. Reaches for it and fouls it off, 1-2. So he'll stay alive with Hutchison on deck, Henry in the hole for Hayes. Crowd creeps from first base. This throw off the dirt, and Marino blocks it and pump fakes at Crowd. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Core Jackson. Jackson on the Canadian Junior National Team is a 2-time Ontario Baseball Association champion and a 2-time Canadian Premier Baseball League champion. Works his way into a full count after fouling one off, down 1-2. Takes 2 straight balls, and we'll get a payoff pitch from Connor Nankis. This payoff pitch swung on and missed. Jackson down on strikes for the 2nd time today. Runner on first, 1 out here in the 5th. Larks up 6-2 as Hutchison comes to the dish. Hutchison on the day, 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and a run scored. Came around to score off the bat of Grant Lung, who singled with 1 out in the 4th. Swan low and outside. Hutchison chases and fouls it into the Marino's glove. Nankis takes a look at Crown, delivers way outside. They will check over at Crown, who dives back in safely. Hutch has 3 hits on the year, all doubles. Has hit 2 doubles to right field and 1 to left field. This delivery outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nankis again looks at Crowell. The southpaw delivers home. This 2-2 delivery swung on a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for the Sox. Puts 2 away in the top of the 5th. Zach Henry to the dish now, 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a strikeout. He's recorded 2 hits on the year, 1 a line drive to center and 1 a ground ball down the third base line. Henry batting under 200 this year, has walked twice and driven in 3 runs. And Crowell takes off to second after Nankis holds up his delivery, and Crowell is going to be thrown out, and he looks hurt over by second base. That'll be the 3rd out as we move to the bottom of the 5th. Tough injury from Sam Crowell in the top of this inning. He'll be replaced by Brady Evans at the catcher spot. Leading it off is going to be Kian Manmano as this one bounces off of this press box. Manmano in his only appearance against Terbeek was back in the third singled and then came around to score the only run of that inning. One-on-one count to Manmano, the center fielder. Pops this one up over to the right side. Lung and Schmidt give chase. Schmidt calls off Lung, reaches for it, and runs into the fence. Can't make the play, just past his glove. It's Terbeek's fifth inning of work. No pitcher for the Larks has thrown more than 5 innings this season. Everything else for the Larks still same defensively. Henry in left, Jeminian in center, Schmidt in right, Pearson at first, Lung at second, Cord Jackson at shortstop, and Hutchison at third. This one's hit to left field. Henry moves towards it. It's going to be caught by Leo Jeminian, who runs into the wall as Henry dives for it. Jeminian makes a nice catch for out number 1, showing off the wheels in left center. Manmano now 1 for 2 on the day. So Terbeek will appreciate that effort from the center fielder. And that'll bring Jacob Grieving to the box now, the left fielder. 0-4 on the day. He reached on a fielder's choice, tried to make his sacrifice bunt, and then Fullerton was thrown out at third and allowed Grieving to get to first safely. One away here in the bottom of the 5th. Hayes up 6-2. Terbeek shakes off a sign from Brady Evans. And we'll go from the windup. The righty delivers outside as Evans tries to frame it. One 1-0 on Jacob Grieving, the left fielder. This one popped over to the left side. Hutchison gives chase down by the fence, and it's going to be out of play. Grieving, a 5'10" outfielder out of the Air Force Academy. A 1-1 from Terbeek. Popped up into left center. Jeminian races towards it and makes a diving effort. It's going to bounce in front of him and roll. Zach Henry's there to back him up. And the throw to second will not be in time. It's a double for Grieving with 1 out. So after a nice play on the previous fly ball, Dominion can't do the same on this one. Runner at second with one out here as Trey Adams at the top of the order comes to the dish. Adams on the day 0 for 2, striking out against Terabik in the first and then flying out to Dominion for out number 2 of the third inning. Luke delivers inside knuckleball. Looked like it was going to hit Adams and it bounces inside. 1-0. Marino on deck, Ackerman on deck for the Sox. Swung at and off. I will say it's foul, otherwise Grieving surely would have gone to third. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out, runner on second. This one's popped over the right side. Schmidt will run and then hold up as it's out of play. Duel for the Larks in the 6th inning will be Henry, and back to the top of the order, Lung and Dominion. Righty versus righty matchup. Knuckleball fools Adams, and he's down on strikes for the second time today. Strikeout number 5 for Terabik that was strike 2. A little ahead of myself. 1-2. Terabik goes from the stretch. This one outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second, 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Terabik delivers inside over the inside part of the plate, and that one is strike 3. It's the 5th strikeout of the day, number 9 on the season for Terabik. Adams down on strikes for the second time against Luke. He's now 0 for 3, this one looking. Now to Brody Marino with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout, and then he was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Tariq gives Evans a nod and goes from the stretch. Fastball hit to left field. Henry moves in, and the runner will be held at 3rd. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. And we'll get a courtesy runner for the catcher. Marino has his first hit of the day. So should Grieving have run home, the throw from Henry was a good one and we got him out. Plus it was not a great hit to run for 2 bases on anyway. Wise move from the third base coach, Brooks Urich, for the Sox. Runner on first, Grieving at 3rd, 2 outs. Runners on the corners with Nolan Ackerman at the dish. Grounded out to Hutchison in the 4th and grounded out to Jackson in the 1st. This will be the second time today he's hit with 2 outs. 0-1 is the count. Off speed, popped up, 2 strikes on Nolan Ackerman, the first baseman. On deck, Beatty if necessary. 0-2 count. Evans gives the signs to Beek. Check over at first, sliding back in safely as the courtesy runner. Courtesy runner is Tyler Sass. This one off Evans, and a runner will score. It's the 3rd run of the ball game for the Sox, and Terabik is frustrated after that wild pitch. Marino to second, and Grieving scores for the first time today. Runs have come from Grieving, Manmano, and Beatty. Terry Beat gets some affirmation from the Larks dugouts. And from his catcher, it goes 1-2. This one low. Evans blocks it and keeps Marino at second. This one grounded to Grant Lung, fields it at his eyes, and tosses it to Cam Pearson for out number 3. Sox score for their third straight inning. The Larks lead is now 3 as we lead 6-3. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. You're tuned into the Larks Network as we move to the 6th. Top of the 6th, leading it off is Zach Henry, the left fielder. Henry on the day 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a groundout. Still Connor Nankus on the mound for his second inning of work. Henry batting at the bottom of the order. Scoreboard reads an 0-1 count. Nankus goes from the windup, and Henry fouls it back. 2 strikes on the left fielder out of UTA. From Rockwall, Texas. He stands at 6 foot. Didn't see any action for the Mavericks in 2021. He slider outside and low, 1-2. On deck for Hayes, Grant Lung with Leo Jiminian in the hole. Henry has 2 hits on the season, 3 RBIs, and he scored twice. It's a 2-2 count. Henry's reached on 3 fielder's choice and walked twice in 2021. Swings and misses at this one. It's going to be a dropped third strike. Marino throws to Ackerman at first, and Henry is out. Strikeout number 5 for Henry on the road series. Top of the order to Grant Lung, 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a run scored and a run driven in. Nankus delivers. Lung hits it off the inside of his bat and picks up his second hit as it rolls into left field. After starting out 0 for 2, he bounces back, now 2 for 2 since the 4th inning. Runner at first here with 1 away here in the top of the 6th. To the box, Leo Jeminian, 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a failed bunt attempt and a strikeout. First delivery to the French center fielder, low, 1-0. Lung gets his lead at first next to first base coach Max McGuire. Second delivery to Jeminian outside, 2-0. On deck is Divis with Pearson in the hole for Hayes. Ankis takes a long look at Lung, who moves around, and Jeminian sends this one straight back. 2 balls and a strike on Jeminian. That hit from Lung was his second one, the 13th team hit on the day. Leo sends this one lined at Frank Leo, who dodges out of the way and gets some laughs from the away team dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jeminian. Jeminian's 4th plate appearance. He's batting second today. Lung makes a move to second and it comes back. Nankis wants to check on him. Sidearm delivery from Nankis. Outside, full count for Jeminian. Jeminian has seen a lot of pitches today, looking to get aboard for the second time. Lung holds at first base, the payoff pitch. Grounded to Lands at third base, who dives toward, gets up and throws out Jeminian. A nice play from the hot corner. Gets Jeminian out, but Grant Lung moves into scoring position with 2 outs. So Jeminian back to the dugout, grounding out for the first time today. That brings up Wyatt Divis, 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a double. 1 run driven in and 1 run scored. Both of those came in the 4th inning. Scored on Cam Pearson's at bat. Long big lead at second. The first delivery to Divis down the middle at the knees. 0-1. Do it for the Sox in the bottom of the 6th inning. Beatty, Lands, and Nunez. Metcalf shakes a couple signs off, takes too long for Divis, who calls time. Larks scored 6th in the 4th and haven't scored before then or since then. This one way outside, moving and shuffling is Marino to keep it in his glove. One and one to Divis. It's back in the batter's box and awaits this delivery. This one at the knees outside, 2-1. Hankes is throwing Divis low, doesn't want to give him anything good to hit. There's a reason Divis is batting 3. Divis, today's DH on the season, hasn't made a ton of plate appearances as he's pitched in 2 games, but he's hitting 200, but has an on-base percentage above 550 as he walked 3 times. He led the team in walks last year with 31. Just a very patient hitter, and it's shown in this at-bat. Fouled that one off, 2-2. So umpire looking for some balls. He's out and gets some to Nankis. Has a 2-2 count on Divis with 2 outs and Lung at second. Larks up 6-3. And Divis skies this one to right field. Fullerton moves back. He is at the wall, and it's going to be a 2-run shot for Wyatt Davis. And it makes the Larks lead go from 6-3 to 8-3. The Larks have their 3rd home run today. One from Schmidt, it was a solo shot. One from Jackson, a 2-run shot. And now Davis brings home Grant Long. Long now has 2 runs scored. Davis has the same amount. And Davis picks up RBIs number 2 and 3 on the day. For Wyatt Davis, that is RBI number 6 on the season and a run scored number 3. Davis now tied for the team lead in RBIs. He's tied with Leo Jiminian, Cam Pearson, and Grant Schmidt. Cam Pearson at the dish. This one is at his feet. Davis hit that well between the 360 marker and 339 marker in right center. For Grant Long, that is the 2nd time he scored today and the 8th time this year. He leads the team solely. He has 8. Cam Pearson in second with 7. Strike called on Pearson here. Pearson on the day, 1 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice and an error, and he singled all the way back in the 1st. This delivery to Cam, outside and low. Davis just cranked that one, was hit well off the bat, and just kept traveling past Fullerton in right field. Pearson is strike 2 swinging. Wyatt Davis had 3 home runs last year with the Larks and picks up his 1st on the season today. And Pearson's payoff pitch is a walk. So after having 2 outs, a home run and a walk keeps the inning going for Nankus, and he's got to be frustrated on the mound. And coming to the box now is Grant Schmidt, who broke the game open with a solo shot in the 4th inning. It was the 1st run scored for the Larks. They were down 1-0 at the time, and then scored 1 right there, and then eventually scored 5 more in that inning to put them up 6-1. They lead 8-3 right now. Total for Schmidt, 1 for 3 on the day, 1 run scored and 1 run driven in. Pearson gets his lead at first. Nankus looks at him and goes home to Schmidt. Reaches for this one and fouls it back. Schmidt has an on-base plus slugging of 1.4. Reads this one all the way. A nice slider. Swings and misses at it for strike 2. 1-2 count on Grant Schmidt, their right fielder out of Hastings, Nebraska. Fouls this one off to stay alive. We get a 5th pitch here coming up. Runner on first with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Nankus looks at Pearson and will go from the stretch outside 2-2 to Schmidt. On deck is Crowell with Jackson in the hole. Due up for the Sox in the bottom of the 6th will be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Beatty, Lands, and Nunes. And we'll see if the Larks want to bring out Ter Beek for inning number 6. Schmidt fouls this one off to stay alive. Swan misses low, and he swings at it and is down on strikes for the first time today. Larks pick up 2 here in the 6th thanks to Wyatt Davis's 2-run shot to right field. They lead 8-3 as we move to the bottom half of the 6th. One out here in the bottom of the 6th as Beatty flied out to Zach Henry. Terbeek still on the mound. And it looks like Beatty comes up a little bit of an injury. So I bring up Ethan Lance to the dish. 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. So Terbeek has now gone 5 1/3. That's the most, the longest outing for any Larks pitcher this season. Although it's just the 5th game. Knuckleball outside and low, 1-0. Nunez on deck with Fullerton in the hole for the Sox. Larks up 8-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. This one's hit to center field. Jeminian moves into left center field and calls off Grant Schmidt. 2 up, 2 out on 2 flyouts. 1 to Zach Henry, 1 to Leo Jeminian, who was very vocal calling off Schmidt. You could hear him all the way here behind home plate. So that'll bring up Roberto Nunez. He's 0 for 2 on the day. The shortstop struck out against Terbeek in the 2nd and grounded out to Cord Jackson for out number 2 the 4th. Since this one off the mound and into center field, it's a 2-out base hit. The 7th hit of the game for the Sox. They're swinging here early on Terbeek in this inning, not seeing a ton of pitches, but put the ball in play. And Keith Harper's going to have a chat with Luke Terbeek. Terabit goes 5 2/3 innings here for the Larks and gives Max Castellucci an 8-3 lead. Castellucci, out of Napa, California, played for the Mission College Saints. It's a 6-foot freshman that throws right-handed. First batter he'll face is Maxim Fullerton. Misses inside on a fastball, 1-0. Fullerton on the day, 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Castellucci has made one appearance. It was against the Roughnecks on June 6th. Threw 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, and had 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Runner on first here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning from Colorado. This one inside. Check swing from Fullerton. Takes it off the inside of his bat for a foul ball. 2-1 count on the right fielder. Castellucci in his career at Mission, 1-0 with a 5.4 ERA through 6 2/3 innings pitched. Struck out 9 and walked 8. This one misses again. 3-1. Castellucci, a senior year of high school, 8 appearances, 1-2 record with a 5.35 ERA. He goes from the stretch, and this one is fouled back. Full count. Castellucci will throw his first payoff pitch. Duel for the Larks in the 7th inning. Evans replacing Sam Crowell with Jackson and Hutchison. Runner takes off on the 3-2 2-out pitch, and Evans can't get a grip on the third strike, and Castellucci gets that out as Evans goes to Pearson for out number 3. Third strikeout on the season through 1 1/3 inning for Castellucci. Sends us to the 7th. Hayes up 8-3 on Larks Network. Brady Evans will lead off the 7th inning for Hayes, his first plate appearance after replacing Sam Crowell. Hayes up 8-3 here in Colorado against the Sox. They're 4-0 on the season, looking to stay undefeated. Connor Natke still on the mound. His delivery to Evans grounded to land at third base, who throws across the infield to Ackerman. 1 up, 1 down here in the 7th for Connor Nankis. So they'll bring up Core Jackson, 1 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts and a 2-run home run. Nankis' second look at Core Jackson sends this one to left center field. Manmano and Grieving move towards it. Manmano makes the catch on a run. 3 pitches and 2 outs for Nankis here in the 7th. Down to Palmer Hutchison, 2 for 3 on the day, a strikeout, 2 doubles, and a run scored. Hutch on the year, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. 2 outs, base is empty. And off speed gets Hutchison ahead of it, 0-1. Due up for the Sox in the bottom of the 7th will be Manmano, Grieving, and Adams. This below the knees, off the plate even. 1-1 to Hutch. We get back in the right-hander's batter's box. And his second look at Connor Nankis. Nankis, the southpaw from the windup. Change up inside for a called strike 2. Hutch, a 6'2 freshman from Hays, Kansas. Last year with the Larks, 7 RBIs in 28 games, picked up 16 hits, and slugged .333. Hutch fouls this one back to stay alive, 1-2. Fouls this one again. It's off the umpire. So this will be a 6-pitch AB for Hutchison. Continuing to do a nice job to protect the plate. One, two again. This one outside low, 2-2. 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the 7th. Nankis from the windup outside. Hutch thought about turning on it and held up. We get a payoff pitch here. Nankis takes his time on this windup. Payoff pitch, a little bit outside. Hutch plays it safe and sends it into foul territory. On deck is Zach Henry for Hays with Grant Long in the hole. And Hutch sends this one slowly to the left side. Nankis off the mound and can't make the throw. It's going to be an error, and Hutch is aboard. We'll see if they give him an error or a hit. Either way, runner aboard with 2 outs. So that'll bring up Zach Henry, 0 for 3 on the day. Henry yesterday 0 for 4, looking for his first hit of the road series. This one at his knees for a called strike. We're at the bottom of the Hays Larks order. Nankis looks at Hutchison and goes from the stretch. Chopped over to the right side off first base is Ackerman. He'll throw to Nankis, who can't put a glove on it, and Henry turns back, heads to second. Hutchison heads to third. No throw. Tough play. I think that'll be a rule to single because of Henry's speed. But there's 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. Evans started this inning with a ground out. Jackson followed up with a fly out. And then Hutchison and Henry get aboard to keep Connor Nankis on the mound. That will bring up Grant Long, 2 for 4 on the day with 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and 1 run driven in. This one outside, 1-0 to the veteran second baseman. Raquel Arcelise started this game off in 4 innings and then was replaced by Connor Nankin, who's still in the game. 2 straight balls to Lung makes it a 2-0 count. Shakes off a couple signs from Marino and goes from the windup. Lung swings at this one low. 2-1. Larks have worked the pitch counts of both Arcelise and Nankis today. Swing and a miss got him to chase low again. Lung yesterday 0 for 2, but walked 4 times and scored twice. This one outside and low. Lung works himself a full count. And the inning continues to go on for Nankin. Larks looking to rattle him and make him pay for keeping the inning going. Go from the windup, the payoff pitch to Lung. Down the middle and gets a swing, and he foul tips it into Marino's glove. Larks leave 2 in scoring position, and they lead 8-3 as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Inning has been stretched, and we return for the bottom of the 7th. Max Castellucci back to the mound, and the first batter he'll face is Kian Manmano. 1 for 2 in the day with a single and a flyout. This one a strike from Castellucci, 1-1 count. Due up after him is Grieving and Adams. Just over 2 hours into this ball game, here in the bottom of the 7th, Hayes up 8-3. This one just above the letters of the center fielder. Hitters count for Manmano. Castellucci walks him on 5 pitches. For Castellucci, that is walk number 3 on the year. Came in and retired the last out in the 6th on a strikeout. So now to the bottom of the order, Jacob Grieving. 1 for 2 today, reached on a fielder's choice and then doubled in the 5th and came around to score. First leadoff base runner since the 4th for the Sox. Castellucci will go from the stretch. Grieving sends it to right field. It's deep, and Schmidt will look at it and make the catch on the warning track. Lost it for a bit and then tracked it back down again. Well hit ball, but Schmidt brings it down for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That one looked like it was a home run, and I think Grieving thought he might have had a home run. So that'll take us to the top of the order. It should be Trey Adams, but it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. Travis Popenhagen, the infielder out of Southwestern College. And it is a pinch hitter. So Trey Adams will finish his day 0 for 3. First delivery outside and low, 1-0. Ackerman in the hole with Marino on deck for the Sox. Castellucci gets set, goes from the stretch, fastball high and inside, 2-0. Bullpen quiet for Hayes. And from my angle, I can't tell what's going on in the Sox bullpen. This one low. Evans wants to look back. Mono to first. Copenhagen, a 5'11" freshman, and he walks. 2 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. That is Manmano at second, and Castellucci has walked 2 through 2/3 of an inning, and Keith Harper is going to come out and talk with Castellucci. 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Marino to the box. On the day, 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch, a single, and a strikeout, all against Luke Terbeek. This is his first look at Castellucci. He'll be the 5th batter Max has faced. This one's foul tipped into Evans' glove, 0-1. Castellucci nods at the first sign from Evans and delivers home. Punt out of play. Defensively, Hayes here in the 7th. Henry Jemenian and Schmidt in the outfield. Hutchison, Jackson on the left side of the infield. Lungy at second. Pearson at first. And then Brady Evans behind the dish. Castellucci goes home. This one's hit to left field. It's going to drop to about 5 feet left of the foul line. Would have been well placed had it just been a little bit more to the right and would have scored at least 1. Oh, 2 on Marino. On a curveball outside, 1-2. Larks still have 2 outs to get here in the 7th. Sox down to their final 8 outs. Outs down by 5. Castellucci nods, goes from the stretch. Change up high, 2-2. Works on his shoulder and will go from the stretch. This delivery grounded up the middle. Jackson will toss it from his glove to Grant Long. A beautiful play, a 6-4-3 double play. Jackson on the run, tosses it to Long, who throws it to Pearson, and that gets the Larks out of this inning. They lead 8-3 as we move to the 8th. Dominion will lead off the top of the 8th for Hayes. We'll see what happens here. I have that it's the 8th inning, and both dugouts do too, but the umps agree that it's the top of the 9th. Dominion pops this one up over to right field, and making a beautiful sliding catch in foul territory is Fullerton. So Leo will have a one pitch out to get this 8th inning going. So I'll bring up Wyatt Divis, who is a triple shy of the cycle, 2 singles, a double, and a home run. 3 runs driven in, and he has scored 2. He has the hardest one to get left. Still Connor Nankis on the mound, and he throws to Divis. Fastball swung on it and missed, 0-1. Nankis goes from the windup 0-1 to Divis. Below the knees. Divis just looking for that triple to get that cycle. Larks together almost hit for a triple in the 4th. The cycle had a couple doubles, a couple home runs, and a couple singles. Just needed the triple. They brought 10 hitters to the plate in that inning and scored 6. Three-1 count here to Wyatt Divis, batting third. This afternoon's designated hitter. Nankis goes from the windup. This one outside, it's a 5-pitch walk for Wyatt Divis, who had the team lead last year with 31, and he is aboard for the 5th time today. Runner on first here with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Larks up 8-3. For Divis, that is walk number 4 on the season. Pearson at the box, 1 for 3, reached on an error, reached on a fielder's choice, walked and singled. This is his second look at Connor Nankis. His third look at Connor Nankis. Fouls this one back. That's a 1-1 count. On deck, Grant Schmidt in the hole, Brady Evans. Nankis throws home. Marino catches it below the knees of Pearson. 2-1. Nankis nods at Marino. Pearson hits this one a mile high into center field. Manmano ranges back and catches it a couple feet in front of the warning track, and Divis heads back to first base. 2 flyouts for the Larks here in the 8th. They have a runner on first with 2 outs for Grant Schmidt. Schmidt on the day, 1 for 4 with a flyout, a strikeout, and a pop-up, but had a solo shot to get the top of the 4th inning going. Scored the Larks' first run of the game. Larks up by 5 here, and Schmidt looking to get aboard for the 2nd time today. Nankis looks at Divis. Goes from the stretch. Swing and a miss from Schmidt. Nankis takes a look at Divis, who has a very small lead at first, and misses outside to Schmidt. Schmidt fouls this one off of Marino's face mask, and he has a 1-2 count. Due up in the bottom of the 8th will be Ackerman, Beatty, and Lands for the Colorado Sox. Grant hits this one over the left field side. Lands and Grieving give chase, and it will hit a tree out of play. So he'll go to the box and get his 5th pitch of this AB. On deck for Hayes, Brady Evans with Cord Jackson and in the hole. It's been a slow game with some long innings. Nankis looking to end this one right here. The 1-2 delivery, swung on, hit hard to Lands, who has a dive and his glove goes under the ball. 2-out single for Grant Schmidt, his second hit of the ball game and his 6th of the road series after going 4 for 4 yesterday. 4 for 5 yesterday. So Divis to second, Schmidt at first for Brady Evans, the catcher who replaced Sam Crowell in the bottom of the 5th. Reno reminds his team that there's 2 outs and getting out at any base. Evans in his only at bat grounded out to Lands at the hot corner. 0-1 to the catcher from Murray State College. This one chopped over the left field side, and Lands will toss to Adams at second base to get a fielder's choice on Schmidt. Larks get a couple base runners, but leave the 8th without scoring a run. They lead 8-3 as we move to the latter half of this 8th. Bottom of the 8th, Max Castellucci back to the mound. Nolan Ackerman leads off. Ackerman on the day 0 for 3 with a ground out to Lung, a ground out to Hutchison, and a ground out to Jackson. It's his first look at Max Castellucci. Castellucci came in, returned the last out of the 6th inning, replacing Luke Terbeek, and then walked 2 and got 3 outs in the 7th, no hits. This one at the eyes, it's a walk for Ackerman to get the 8th going quick. 3rd walk of the outing for Castellucci. So we'll get a pinch hitter for the DH Josh Beatty. That is Wyatt Yarmer, the infielder from Western Technical College. Yarmer's first delivery from Castellucci outside. First strike of the inning from Castellucci at the knees of Yarmer, the new DH. Runner on first, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Hayes up 8-3, lands on deck. Nunez in the hole for the Sox. Castellucci gets set, goes from the stretch. This one below the knees on a fastball. 2-1 count to Yarmer, the DH from Western Technical College in Colorado. It's Ackerman at first. He's aboard for the first time today after that walk. Still 0-3. Castellucci gets a swing and a miss out of Yarmer, and he has a 1-2 count, looking to pick up his second strikeout on the day. He's gone 1 2/3 of an inning. Castellucci goes from the stretch. This one a slider outside. Evans slides to the left-hander's batter's box to save it. Still 2 strikes on Yarmer. Evans sits up down the middle. Castellucci goes home, and it's a walk. The payoff pitch outside and low. Back-to-back walks. That is the 4th walk from Castellucci in 1 2/3 innings. Back-to-back walks get the 8th going for the Sox, looking to put together a comeback. Ackerman at second, Yarmer at first, and Ethan Lance come to the dish. Lance on the day, 1 for 3, a single, a fly out to Jeminian, and a ground out to Cord Jackson on the day. And we will get time. Lands out at York College is a 5'11", right-handed third baseman. Evan punches his glove, sets the location for Castellucci. This one inside 1-0. Castellucci struggling with his location here in the 8th. This one misses the zone again, 2-0. Heath Harper stands up. See if he wants to make a mound visit. He starts to walk out the dugout. Castellucci, his 2-0 delivery is going to hit the umpire after it hits Lance. 3 batters put on base, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch. Not sure what the umpire said to Castellucci there. Bases loaded, nobody outs. Tying run on deck for the Sox. Not sure what the umpire's talking about here. Bases loaded for Roberto Nunez. 1 for 3 in the day with a strikeout, a ground out, and a single. Ackerman at third. Yarmer at second. Lands at first. Nunez in the box. The first delivery to him. Above the letters, 1-0. Castellucci trying to get on track here. Nice pitch outside corner. 1 ball and a strike to Nunez. Nunez, a 6'2" shortstop from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. The 1-1 misses low. Evans blocks it and keeps it in front of him. 2-1. And there is movement. It looks like Trey Riggs starting to get loose out in the right field bullpen. Castellucci goes home and gets Roberto Nunez way in front of this changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two hit to center field. Leo Jeminian moves back, is at the warning track, and it's a grand slam for Nunez. It's an 8-7 ball game, and Castellucci is having his struggles here in the 8th. Nunez now 2 for 4 in the ball game, picks up 4 RBIs on one swing of the bat, brings in himself for his first run scored, and brings in Lance for his first run scored, Ackerman for his first run scored, and Yarmer for his second run scored. And so all of a sudden, like that, tying run is at the plate. Hayes leading just by 1. Terbeek went 5 2/3, was looking good on the mound. And they replaced him with Max Castellucci, who has 4 earned runs. And he's still looking for his first out here in the 8th. This one's fouled off, 0-1 to Maxim Fullerton, who is 1 for 3 on the day with a single and 2 strikeouts. That ball from Nunez was just hit hard into right center field. It's not a very deep outfield here anyway. Got it between the 360 and 339 sign in right center. Are playing at a high school stadium. Castellucci gets set, goes home, swing and a miss. Hits a rhythm against Fullerton, 0-2. 1-2, excuse me. Slider outside and low, bounces back to the backstop. So if the Larks want to do something in the ninth to give them a bigger lead and get some comfort, it's going to have to come again from the bottom of the order as it's due up Jackson, Hutchison, and Henry. Fullerton was the first batter Castellucci faced. That was in the 6th, and Castellucci struck him out. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the right fielder. Fullerton out of Northeast Community College. 2-2, grounded to Hutchison, waits on it, fields it at the letters, and throws to Pearson, who digs it nicely for the first out of the 8th inning. And the Sox are down to their final 5 outs as Manmano comes to the dish. Rakes tossing to Brock Loomis in right field, getting warmed up. And Coach Harp, the pitching coach for Hayes, taking notes on his clipboard. Manmano on the day, 1 for 2, a single run scored and a walk. Flew out to Jeminian back in the 5th. His first delivery from Castellucci, he's taking it, and it's a called strike over the inside part of the plate. Larks saw their second injury of the season today. Sam Crowell got injured running to second base just like Tyler Palmer did yesterday. This one's hit to right field, and it's going to be a solo shot. And Castellucci has 5 earned runs through 2 innings on the mound. And that one, Granny Schmidt couldn't do anything about it. The second home run of the inning. Manmano now 2 for 3 on the day, and we're tied up at 8-8. And surprising move not to see anything from Keith Harper out of the dugout. And now he's going to make his way to the mound, and we'll take a quick pause. 8-8 here in the 8th. Trey Riggs comes in the game for the Larks. And we would now come into this inning with an 8-3 lead, have the game tied up. Still only one out here in the 8th. 5 earned runs off of 2 home runs from the Sox. Ball one on Jacob Grieving at the bottom of the order. Grieving on the day, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Outside, 2-0. Trey Riggs, a freshman from Hays, Kansas, played for the Dodge City Community College Conquistadors. 6-foot freshman, made 13 appearances for DC3, went 0-1 through 18 2/3, striking out 15. Gets a called strike here on Grieving, the left fielder. Evan gets set behind the dish. And this delivery outside, hitter's count. Castellucci, who came into this one with an 18 ERA, proudly had that one skyrocket. It's a day for him after 2 innings. Luke Terbeek allows 3 runs through 5 2/3, striking out 5, and they replace him. And the Larks here with 1 out against the Sox in the bottom of the 8th. Full count to Grieving. Riggs will get set, go from the stretch for his payoff pitch. This one swung on, hit past Cord Jackson, and into left field, a 1-out single for the Sox, who are about to bring their 8th hitter to the dish of the inning. And it is Travis Popenhagen who hit for Trey Adams in the 7th. Adams went 0 for 3. Popenhagen walked in the 7th and then was out on a double play. Trey Riggs come to this one. Made 1 appearance against the Roughnecks. That was last Saturday in Game 2 of the season. Threw 2 1/3, 5 hits and 5 earned runs, 5 walks and 3 strikeouts. This delivery inside, 1-0 to Popenhagen. So the Larks need to do something in the 9th from Cord Jackson, Hutchison, and Henry at the bottom of the order. Riggs gets set and looks over his shoulder and gets a swing and a miss out of Popenhagen. While Riggs is warming up, home plate umpire issued warnings to both dugouts, so tension started to rise here. Game 1 of a 2-game series against the Sox. Check over at the runner, just keeping him honest. And Grieving in safely. Larks 4-0 on the year. Don't want to drop one here to the Sox. Team they lost to 3 times last year. This one's fouled back. And he has a 1-2 count. Riggs hit 1 batter against the Roughnecks and got a no decision in the W. He threw 72 total pitches, 36 strikes, 36 balls, 50% both way, and averaged 4 pitches per batter faced, and averaged 31 pitches per inning. And the 2 innings he started off, got the leadoff out in both of them. And as a dropped 3rd strike, but the runner on first wouldn't allow Popenhagen to go there. Out number 2 of the 8th. To the box now is Brody Marino, the 9th hitter of the inning for the Sox. 1 for 3 on the day, got hit by a pitch in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, struck out in the 1st, and then Castellucci got an inning-ending double play in the 7th off of him. A 6-4-3 from Jackson to Lung to Pearson. Riggs last year with the Larks, 9 appearances, went 1-1, 12 innings, all 9 appearances in relief, struck out 13 and had a whip of 2.08. Goes from the stretch. This one a fastball low and inside. 1-0 to Marino, the catcher. Ackerman started the sitting out with a walk. Castellucci walked Yarmer, the pinch hitter. Then hit lands. Nunes followed that up with a grand slam. Fullerton grounded out to Hutchison, and then a solo shot from Manmano ended the day for Castellucci. Riggs came in, allowed a single, and then just struck out Popenhagen. And Marino right here fouls this one off. 1-1. 7 of the 18 batters Riggs faced on Saturday were out on 3 pitches or less. This one's popped to the left side, out of play. Riggs threw first pitch strikes on 50% of the batters he faced. And when he did, 44% of those ended in an out. Delivery home, grounded to Cam Pearson, who will tap first base. Easy round out for the first baseman. Riggs comes in relief of Castellucci, who allowed 5 earned runs and gets 2 outs and allows 1 hit. Larks and Sox tied as we head to the 9th here on Larks Network. Core Jackson to lead off here in the top of the 9th, tied up at 8 apiece between the Larks and the Sox. Core on the day, 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, a flyout, and he had a 2-run shot back in the 4th inning to extend the Larks' lead. Actually put the Larks in the lead, put them up 3-1, and then the Larks scored 3 more runs after that. Took a 6-1 lead, added 2 more runs in the 6th. We're up 8-3 going into the 8th, and then the Sox score 5. And Jackson trying to put the Larks back on top here. And it's still Connor Natkiss on the mound. He'll go from the windup, lefty versus lefty. This one hit hard at Adams, well hit. Excuse me, that's Copenhagen covering for Adams at second base. Well hit just right at the second baseman. Core Jackson down for the first out of the 9th inning. Larks fans, make sure you follow the Larks on Twitter at HayesLarksBB and like the Larks Facebook page and subscribe on YouTube. When you subscribe on YouTube and hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button, you'll get notified every time we go live, so you'll never miss a minute of Larks action this season. First delivery to Palmer. Hutchison fouled off. Hutchison on the day has been aboard 3 times, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a single, and a strikeout. He scored 1 run back in the 4th inning off the bat of Grant Long. His delivery to him low, 1-1 to the third baseman from Kansas City, Kansas Community College. His freshman year there, batted .269 and had 12 RBIs in a shortened season. Got his groove going in 2021, batted .324 with 62 RBIs, leading the team in runs batted in. Hutch has 3 doubles on the season, 2 of those today. This delivery to him outside. Yankees from the windup. Hutchison's it hard, and Lands catches it on a line drive. That's 2 well-hit balls for the Larks here in the 9th, and 2 outs. So that'll bring up Zach Henry, singled in the 8th, and is 1 for 4 on the day. Looking to do something to get the Larks. You don't want to go into the bottom of the 9th tied up and get walked off and put yourself in a position for that even to happen. First delivery to Henry, a slider outside, 1-0. Henry out of UTA. In high school, is a 2019 All-State selectee for baseball, first team All-District, and the 2019 Offensive Player of the Year. Also a great football player for Rockwall, put up 3,269 all-purpose yards for Rockwall High. Left fielder hitting at the bottom of the order today for Hayes. Hankis delivers in his 5th inning of work, misses inside. 2-1 to Zach Henry. Grant Lung at the top of the order, waiting on deck. Two-one outside and low, 3-1. Got to be careful how you pitch Zach here. You don't want to walk him because he's got speed, and if you put him on base, he's going to take second and put himself in scoring position. But you can't give him anything good to hit. And you don't want to extend the inning if you're Nankis on the mound. He shakes off Marino for the first delivery, for the first sign. Henry hits this one to left field, and it's going to drop in front of Grieving, and Henry's going to take second base. Slowed up, was trying to get a read on it, and goes to second. It's a double with 2 outs for Zach Henry. So after starting off his road series 0 for 7, gets back-to-back hits in the 7th and the 9th. And there's a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for the Larks, looking to take the lead here. We go to the top of the order, Grant Long, a great hitter, a guy you want at the plate today. Starting off the game, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. In the 7th, he got a strikeout. But in the 4th and the 6th, got 2 singles. He scored twice and driven in 1. This is his 3rd look at Connor Nankis, and he fouls this one off. Long looking to pick up an RBI. Would be a 2nd one of the day. And on the season, Grant has 2 RBIs. This one hits him. Got him on the inside. Couldn't tell if it hit him on his hip or his shoulder, but it's a well-earned trip to first base. And Nankis starting to lose a little bit of control here in the 9th. 2 outs. Inning keeps going on. And Leo Jeminian coming to the box. Wants to do something to change his effort. He's 1 for 5 on the day. Dangerous hitter, doubled today in the 3rd, hit a home run yesterday, and wants to punish Connor Nankis for allowing this game to keep going and keep giving the Larks an opportunity to score. Henry at 2nd, Long at 1st. Jeminian at the box. The first delivery to Leo, outside and low, 1-0. Divis on deck if necessary. Pearson in the hole for Hayes. Due up in the bottom of the 9th will be Marino, Ackerman, and Yarmer. Ackerman, Yarmer, and then Lands, Leo working the count here, trying to do something to get the Larks back in the lead. 8-8 ball game, 2 outs in the top of the 9th. He fouls this one off. Nankis from Metropolitan State University. Southpaw will deliver to the right-handed hitting center fielder and will get Leo Giovanni to found this one into the glove of Marino. 2 strikes on Leo. Top of the 9th. This one delivered. Leo chops it to third base. Lands will tag the bag himself. Larks get 2 on with 2 outs, but we'll go to the bottom of the 9th, tied up at 9. And Nankis has some words for the Larks and gets yelled at by the umpire. Trey Riggs to the mound for the bottom of the ninth. He's got to go through the heart of the order. Nolan Ackerman will lead it off. He was 0 for 3 on the day with a walk and 3 groundouts. Riggs came in and got the last 2 outs, replacing Max Castellucci. Some chirping going on between the teams, between the innings. Sox, after being down 5 runs, got a lot of confidence after a 5-run eighth. So an inside 1-0 to Ackerman, the first baseman. Riggs looks in, gets his signs from Evans. Gives him a nod and gets set. Righty versus righty. This delivery from Riggs. Just inside. Can't get the call from the home plate umpire. 2-0. Delivery outside. 3-0. Tough position for Riggs right now. Bottom of the ninth, tied up at 8-8. Nobody out, nobody on. The leadoff hitter Ackerman has a 3-0 count. He's taking, as this one misses inside, a 4-pitch walk. Back-to-back walks for Ackerman. Runner on first with nobody out. Go ahead run 270 feet from scoring. So we'll have a pinch hitter for Wyatt Yarmer, who was the pinch hitter for Beatty. It is number 10, Tyler Satz, who was a courtesy runner for Brody Marino earlier in the game. Riggs looks at Ackerman, goes home, just misses the inside corner. 5 straight balls from Riggs, gets to the bottom of the ninth going. Larks yesterday had a really bad inning defensively. That was the 3rd inning, had 6 errors, but they were able to bounce back. Had 6 runs in the 6th to put them back in front after being down by 1. Put them back in, they ended up winning 12-7. But today, after a bad 8th, couldn't get anything across in the 9th. This one misses outside. 2-1 count to Sass. Larks putting their trust in Riggs. Nobody in the bullpen. Swan Sky to right field, out of play. Riggs on the mound looking for 3 outs, takes a look, and Ackerman gets set and goes home. Showing bunts, and they will say Sass pulled back just in time. And Riggs and Evans don't agree with that one. And the umpire has some words for the Larks dugout. So this at bat continues on after apparently Sass pulled his bat back in time. Riggs goes home. This one's hit to right field. It's a base hit. Ackerman's going to be held at second. 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth in a tie game. Ackerman at second, Sass at first, and Frank Leo's going to come out and have a talk with Trey Riggs, and we'll take a quick pause and see what the Hayes Larks want to do. To the boxes, Ethan lands 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th, tied at 8 apiece. His first look at Trey Riggs, and he will show a bunt, and Palmer Hutchison fields it at first base and throws to Grant Long at first base. 2 in scoring position with 1 out after the sacrifice bunt by Lands. Couldn't have placed it better. And we'll see what the Larks want to do to Roberto Nunez. It's 2 for 4 and had a grand slam in the 8th. See if they want to put him on and get a potential double play. Frank Leo comes out of the dugout and tells his infield to play in. Everybody has their toes on the grass to try and get the runner out at home should there be a ball put in play in the infield. Ackerman at third, Sass at second, Nunez at the dish. Pressure on Riggs right here. We'll see how he deals with it. And Frank Leo pulls in the outfield as well. Schmidt and Henry pulling from the corners, and Leo Germania comes in from center. This one, I'm not sure about that one. They called that one a ball inside. Like a good pitch. Trey Riggs and Brady Evans can't get the call. Riggs goes home. This one drops low, 2-0. On deck is Maxim Fullerton. Nunez started out his day with a strikeout in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, singled in the 6th, and had that grand slam in the 8th, and it's a 3-0 count. And field in, and we'll likely see Nunez taking all the way. 3-0 from Riggs, right down the middle. Called strike. Hitter's count for the shortstop. 3-1 count. Nunez back in the right-hander's batter's box versus the right-handed Trey Riggs. Riggs goes home. This one's hit hard to the third base side. Hutchison fields it and throws to Pearson. Well played by Hutchison, and he was right there to look back. Ackerman to the bag, and the Larks feel some momentum as there's 2 outs now thanks to the ground outs from Nunez. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, 2 in scoring position, tied at 8 here from Colorado. Maxim Fullerton singled in the 3rd, and since then hasn't gotten anything. Struck out to end the 4th inning against Terabik, struck out against Castellucci to end the 6th, and then grounded out against Castellucci for the first out of the 8th inning. Hits this one to right field, and it's going to drop in fair territory, and it's a walk-off base hit. And the Larks, after a horrible 8th inning, lose 9-8 on a walk-off single from Maxim Fullerton, his first RBI of the day, and Nolan Ackerman comes across to score his 2nd run of the ball game. Taking the loss will be Trey Riggs. Luke Terabik was in position to win, put the Larks at an 8-3 lead in the 6th inning. Had 2 outs in there, and then they pulled them. And Castellucci allows 5 runs. Riggs comes in and allows 1 run in the 9th. And just like that, the Larks lose their first game of the series. Still in first place in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. They're 4-1. And just like that, Larks, like I said, 4-1. We'll be back here for a 1 o'clock pitch Mountain Time for Game 2 against the Sox. And that'll be a good one. Saw a good one today with tensions getting high. 2 o'clock Central Time if you're watching from Hayes tomorrow. But Larks lose 9-8 here from Colorado. Game 2 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Central Time for Game 3 of this 4-game road series. This has been Carson Ackerman on the call. Thank you for tuning into Larks Network.